Shall I share?
Yes. You can start, Doctor.
Good morning, everybody. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
We have been doing these practical nutrition tips for better health for a while. Certainly, a lot of presentations were given by various people. There's a lot of information. From now on, I'm trying to focus more practical aspects. That's the reason why we have taken this topic. All this health that we are trying to promote is to be young for a longer period of time. That's not just to live for a long period of time. That is to live younger. The science from Ayurveda and the science from the Western medicine or Western research both now agree that 100 years is not the limit to live. Certainly, 100 years is very desirable, but practically, you and I know that after 90, it's very difficult to have our things done. We need help. And if your brain is good, that's all the more a big bonus. If the brain is not that good, you cannot understand, you cannot hear well, you cannot see well, there's a problem. But doctors are handling those things nowadays. A very practical example, my mother, who turned just 93 years, was operated for cataract so that she can see better. This is the simplest one that I mentioned, which happened as a first-hand experience. But there are so many new technologies, techniques, medicines, supplements, gadgets that are available for people to live younger, whatever their age may be. If you don't do anything, naturally, someone who is 40 will look like this and progress to 50 and 60 and 70 and 80. After 40, most of the body functions do deteriorate. There will not be any dramatic disease or anything, but the building activity in the body comes down rapidly. Up to 40, the building activity in the body maintains a good equilibrium and people do not change much up to 30, 40 plus. But later, the change is inevitable. I suppose you can recognize this. Have you recognized?
It's a beautiful one.
Yes.
Did you made it with an app?
Huh?
You made it with an app?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
It's
Nice.
you.
Yeah, it's him.
Yeah. It's me. And this is at 60 and 40, 20, and 80. Now, scientists have found various ways to slow down, which means maybe when I'm more than 80, I may look like this. If I don't do anything, of course, it will be this progression. Or some labs, some scientists, like Dr. Sinclair in Harvard, sorry, there is a problem here because there's a lot of humidity. Even if my finger touches a little bit, it is moving. So Dr. Sinclair at Harvard is hoping to have a 60% look like a 40 or 50. And he is doing the experiments on his own body and showing it very well. So in the next 10, 20 years, two things are very certain from the science point of view and medical point of view. Number one, your aging can be slowed down. Number two, your aging can be reversed. Every year, if you get this reversal done or slowing done, the new technologies will catch up and one can live more than 90 in a healthier, younger way. Right now, nobody wants to live a very old, not able to listen, not able to understand, not able to eat well, not able to walk well. That's not the intent. This is done in many different ways. This younger for longer, I'll have two parts. And today I present the first part. And when my turn comes, I'll do the second part later. But please remember, this is not just to sit and listen. You have to do something to understand where you stand. Today, you stand, let's say, this blue line, normal. If nothing happens, if you don't do anything, this will be your 70th year. But if you take action, you will go up to your 85th year, the same as what you could be at 70. Of course, the yellow line shows that if there is an accident, it could take two different paths. The accident, if it is not dramatic, you still can contain and maybe you will lose 5 years. But if the accident is dramatic, then maybe you will lose 10 years. Accident related problems. But normal path is the blue line, and the new path, one can extend easily 80 to 85. Now let's see how you maximize your lifespan potential to make the years that you live very well. Here is a test, age test. I want you to take this age test and give the score. If you can do it now, we can wait. It will not take much time. Or if you want to do it later and report your score, that also we can do. So this score comes from this site, and you will receive an email once you finish the score for this test. And the test, there are 35 fast multiple choice questions. I will do it now, and so that you will have the ability to do on your own for yourself. The first one and the most important thing about health and being young is sleep. You have to answer these questions. My sleep is good. Sleep is very bad, very bad. So let me take my sleep is good, or my sleep varies, sometimes sleep too little or less well, and 2 nights per week. I would say, instead of taking the top one, I will take the second one for all the answers.
Oh, Dr. Rao,
Do you
the
brush?
screen is
Professor,
not,
we cannot see the
yeah,
question.
screen is not moving.
Screen is not moving. We don't see
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
Till it is showing, are you maximizing?
Are you
your
maximizing
time?
your life? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did, but what do you see otherwise?
No, that's the
No,
main
just we
screen
see the
only. It was not moving. Yeah.
I see. Maybe.
we cannot start here. Just I see the start here, but we cannot see anything.
Okay, let me try again. If not, probably they have some kind of control that you cannot see. Therefore,
Yeah, main screen. This is the main screen. Okay, if you
now
click on,
can you see the main screen?
yeah, now you clicked on start.
Can you
Now,
see
it is a
now it's a blank screen.
blank.
Okay.
Blank screen.
So I cannot run this, so I leave it, and I will post the address to you, and the address you can copy and use in your screen on in your laptop to get to this. And let me give you the address. And I request you to run this at your convenience and get the score.
I'll post it in the group. Just
You got it? You
No.
got, how did you get?
no, no,
address?
we did not
No,
get
I'm
it.
going to get you the address.
Yes.
The address is Novos Labs, but I'll type in. Longevity test. Longevity test is this age test, and I'm posting it now for you. Novos Lab, there is an S at the end, Novos Labs test. And you have to do the same thing as I tried to do. Start, and then there will be 35 questions, and answer all the 35 questions, and you will get a score. And that score is going to help you to decide where you are at this stage of life. If you get a score of 90 and above, it's beyond impressive state. You are in the top 1%. If you get the score of 80 to 89, very good health, you are a role model for others. If you get a score of 70 to 79, healthier than most, though you can still improve. 60 to 69, this is not age. This is a score that you will get when you finish the test answering all 35 questions. And you have to give your email address. Once you give your email address, you will receive a mail with your score. 50 to 59 average health, which is far from ideal state. 40 to 49 below average, small fixes can make a big impact, which means it's very critical. 25 to 39, well below the average, please act quickly. If it is 0 to 24, I don't expect any of yours will be lower scores. It will be very, very low, and you need to act now. So this score, there may be several scores like this, but either this score or any other score that you know, please take it so that you know where you stand. All of them are relative to others, so don't really get panic depending on the score. It is only a guiding point for you to see how seriously or how aggressively, how fast you have to act. Everybody says it's in my genes, my parents. Yes, that is true. Parents can give you diabetes, cancer, and several other diseases that can be inherited. But the most important thing is lifespan is 75% lifestyle, only 25% determined by genetics. Whether it is exactly 25 or 40, up to 40, that is debatable depending on which factor you are discussing. But the main point is majority of your feeling younger, being younger, having healthier life is due to the lifestyle, and less than that is due to your genetics. In fact, a healthy lifestyle can add 8 to 15 years to your lifespan. This is what that line is. If you can make it healthy, if you can leave it normal, the blue line, versus make it healthy, it is 10 to 15 years more. And this is all science backed, science derived, and scientists have said 1,000 times. If the moment that you open internet, you will see all these things. But each one may have a different angle. But I have simplified the whole thing for you, because for the past 1 month, I've been gathering what is the right stuff to say about younger for longer. I'm very confident that these steps, that the steps that I'm going to present to you, they are very important, and each one of you can implement them well. First one is, we have given a lot of focus on healthy food, because that is what every day you get into your body. The next is exercise. Unless you give enough exercise, the body will shrink. Use and disuse theory. If you don't use it, you will lose it. Muscle, every one of you know very well that if you don't use some muscles, they will become very, very weak, and they may not even function later. Restful sleep and your perception about life, about things, about people, about situation has a big role to play. All these are ranked roughly based on their relative importance. Supplements. Yes, you need supplements. As we age, the body may produce those molecules, what we call as supplements, but the number of molecules produced will be less. So you have to supply some molecules from external source, either with food or directly as supplements in capsules. Then the next one is mind-body integration. This makes a big difference. You have to have the mind-body integration. What is mind-body integration in a simple term? Is that you should not be fighting with your own mind. If whatever your body can do, whatever your body is, let the mind know the limits and limitations of the body. Do not try to push too much to make it terrible for the body through mind. Because mind wants to fly, let's say. Mind wants to do so many things. When body cannot do it, reconcile and try to think, try to plan those that the body can do. Eliminate toxins. As we age, it is very difficult to eliminate toxins because systems become slow down in the body, and therefore elimination of toxins is also slowed down. So you have to have proper methods to eliminate toxins, which means you have, first of all, you have to eat healthy food and do the needed exercise to eliminate those toxins. Then you should be flexible. If you are not flexible, both in the body and in the mind, you will have a lot of difficulty. All those difficulties will accelerate the aging. Creativity definitely helps to let you be younger. So I don't have to tell you, all of you at India Home, you have been doing so many different projects for that reason. And definitely you have to have some love. Love defines not only just happiness, but also it gives the most important thing to live unconditionally. This aspect for people over 40 is a very serious one. Until 40, they may not really know. And love has a lot of biochemical, hormonal relation, and those relations maintain your health. Now, coming to the first one is healthy food, which you have done several different ways, but I summarize from the collection of Novos Labs, which is doing extremely well. Of all the material that we can find on web, Novos Lab has some of the best, well-organized, scientifically proven, well-backed, and easy to follow suggestions. Healthy food. Blue fruit, blueberries and blackberries. Eat as many berries as you can. There are 30 berries right now that you can buy in United States in one season or the other. If not in your stores, easily you can buy a dozen or more berries, which means if you start eating berries, you don't have to repeat within the 10 days, 2 weeks time. Therefore, my first strong request is if you are eating berries every day, that's fine. Otherwise, make it a point to buy berries and eat berries every day. Some berries you may like more, some berries you may not like that much. It doesn't matter. The ones that you like more, please eat more. The one you do not like much is eat a few of them. The next one is green leafy vegetables, kale, broccoli, spinach, Brussels sprouts. I don't have to stress this because many people have said this, and those most of you are vegetarians, I assume. For vegetarians, this is not a problem, but eating them fresh is something that you should follow at this stage of life. Rather than completely cook it, yes, when you cook it, also it's okay, but for your stage and for your needs, if you can eat fresh as salads or various ways that fresh pieces can be cut and used as dips, then your health, stomach will be very good. Dark chocolate. Chocolate somehow is seen as negative, but dark chocolate containing at least 70% cacao is considered is less risk for heart disease, hypertension, and even reduce the risk of dying, meaning slow it down. It will slow your aging. And they all have host of other benefits. When you visit novoslabs.com, you can see all these points. And I'm not stressing them again here because most of these points were covered by different presenters before. Then they would say food. If you have to eat non-vegetarian, fish is the most appropriate one. If you must eat meat, this is the choice. Seeds like pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, and flax seeds. Now this is getting a very high attention, even in India, the place where I am today, and they are using all these seeds, plus sunflower seeds, as a powder. When they served me, it is so tasty, plain, simple powder. Buy these nuts, buy these seeds, and fry them, cool them, grind them, make a powder, use the powder on anything that you eat. If not, just take yogurt and mix the powder. It really tastes very well. Don't add salt. Don't add too many spices. Then it can go very well with many of them. So seeds, a handful of seeds if you want to eat directly, yes, but you have to protect your denture or teeth, and therefore the simplest way is to make a powder and consume nicely. Of all the nuts, walnuts is very good. It doesn't stay much longer, so you have to eat faster, but it has many well researched benefits shown in literature and tasty as well. So increase your nuts consumption. Among the nuts, increase the consumption of walnuts. Green tea and white tea. These are special teas that Chinese have been introducing for the rest of the world for a long time. Green tea is very popular. White tea is also there in New York, you can find it, but because it is fairly expensive, it is not that popular. It is not that popular, therefore it's fairly expensive. If everybody wants to drink white tea, certainly it will be like green tea or regular tea. Coffee in moderation. Coffee has caffeine, so everybody is afraid, oh, coffee is going to harm you. That's not true. When scientists publish, they want to give the risk. In giving the risk of osteoporosis or things like that, they'll say, oh, this is increasing the certain risk for a particular condition. So coffee in moderation is very good. Legumes. I have shown you earlier in one of the presentations that there are at least 40 pulses, different types. These are not variants, these are not geographical differences, but these are really special to the areas and identified as single individual species. So please increase the use of legumes as much as you can, whether in the rice, quinoa, wheat, or meat. Mushrooms. There are different types of mushrooms, and these mushrooms, portobello and oyster mushrooms are really favored by many people, particularly portobello. If you can eat mushrooms, this is a good choice. Herbs, especially ginger, rosemary, oregano, and garlic. All these are available in New York area 365 days a year. So there is no excuse not consuming them when they are available in plenty in many places. Then you may ask me another question. Walnuts, herbs, rosemary, all these can be expensive. Yes, some of these are expensive. If you sit down and calculate per month, consuming these things definitely will save trips to hospital, doctors, and therefore the cost of these things is not substantial, considering the benefits that they give you. Well, most of you know olive oil. We had a full session on oils, and any oil that you use, please read the labels. And one simplest guidance is if there are ingredients that you cannot read or too many ingredients, that is not right. What is naturally available will not have those many features, those many ingredients. Nature is very straightforward, and for that, they are very well adapted by humans over thousands of years. Apples. All of you definitely know that an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Please consume fruits. Apple is an example here. And then fermented foods. We have not heard these things in the Indian context, like natto, sauerkraut, kimchi, but we also have our fermented products. Please try to use them in your foods regularly. One of the best fruits is the pomegranate, and pomegranate comes not only in the fruit form, there is a juice called POM, P-O-M. It's not easy to drink that juice, but you can mix that juice with other things and consume the POM so that you can get all the benefit of all that. Now I want to play the second aspect of the play thing, that is the 23 and a half hours. I hope you can you hear? Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear you, but
Yeah.
we don't see
This
anything.
is a very
No, we
no,
don't.
I stopped it.
No,
This is
I can't even hear.
no, this is a video that is 9 minutes long, and it's going to talk about only one point, but it is worth spending time those 9 minutes.
Can't hear anything.
We don't see anything. We can't hear anything, Doctor.
Yeah.
Did you say something?
We can't hear. We don't see anything on the screen.
Oh, screen? No?
No. No video,
Okay.
no audio.
Let me stop sharing and play it in a different way. Now, can you listen?
Hi,
Yes,
Dr. Mike
now
Evans.
we can see.
The visual lecture I'm calling 23 and a half hours. So I have a big interest in preventive medicine, which can mean a lot of things from, cancer screening to eating more fiber to having a good social network. And I mean that in the old sense of the word. Weighing less, drinking less, smoking less, controlling your blood pressure, cholesterol, and so on and so forth. So all of these things are incredibly important, and I wouldn't want you to minimize your efforts in any one category. But I want to know what comes first. What has the biggest impact? What has the biggest return on investment? What makes the biggest difference to your health? So I did my research and I found an answer, at least for me, and it's tricky because, all these things are sort of overlapping. But I picked out this intervention and because of its breadth, it worked for so many different health problems, and that's what I found so cool about it. So just to kind of walk you through a quick list. So this intervention in patients with knee arthritis who receive 1 hour of treatment 3 times a week reduced their rates of pain and disability by 47%. In older patients, it reduced progression to dementia and Alzheimer's by around 50%. For patients at high risk of diabetes and coupled with other lifestyle interventions, it reduced progression to frank diabetes by 58%. Postmenopausal woman who had 4 hours a week of the treatment had a 41% reduction in the risk of hip fracture. It reduced anxiety by 48% in a big meta-analysis. Patients suffering from depression, 30% were relieved with low dose, and that bumped to 47% as we increased the dose. Following over 10,000 Harvard alumni for over 12 years, those that had the intervention had a 23% lower risk of death than those who didn't get the treatment. It's the number one treatment of fatigue, and of course, the kind of outcome of choice there, my favorite outcome is quality of life, which is really all of the above and really about making your life better. And this treatment has been shown over and over again to improve quality of life. So the question is, what's the medicine and what is 23 and a half hours? So the medicine was exercise, mostly walking, so not triathlons. And let me just put it a different way. I think what I'm asking you to do is, if you think about your typical day, so there's 24 hours, and so you might spend most of your day, this varies obviously, but couch surfing, sitting at work, obviously sleeping. And what the evidence that I'm going to show you kind of tells me is the best thing you can do for your health is to spend half an hour being active, maybe an hour, and that if you can do that, you can realize all the benefits I've described in the previous slides. So let's just take a quick walk through some of the literature. So Stephen Blair, he's a professor at the Arnold School of Public Health at the University of South Carolina, and he looked at this in what's called the Aerobic Center Longitudinal Study, which followed over 50,000 men and women over time. And along the left side of this graph is something called attributable fractions, which is a kind of fancy word, but it's the estimate of the number of deaths in a population that would have been avoided if that specific risk factor had been erased. So for example, turning a smoker into a non-smoker or a couch potato into a daily walker. And along the bottom is the typical risk factors. You can see the hypertension is incredibly important and so on and so forth. But the one that kind of applied the most risk was this sort of mysterious CRF, which is cardiorespiratory fitness, which is really low fitness. So low fitness was the strongest predictor of death. And this is important. That most of the trials we see, to be honest, are funded by pharma or other companies because they've got a drug for hypertension or high cholesterol or diabetes. And we rarely see fitness thrown into the mix. And so it's nice to see a trial that's not so siloed. Blair's work is interesting. He also did another trial looking at obesity. What he found was, sort of two things. One is obesity and no exercise. That's a very bad combination, and that's where we saw many of the negative consequences of obesity from a health point of view. But if the obese person was active, even if they didn't have the weight loss, but were just active and obese, that was much, much better, and that the exercise ameliorated much of the negative consequences of obesity. So if exercise is a medicine, what's the dose? So when I think of dose, I think of how long, how often, and how intense. I'm going to give you a slightly mixed message, but essentially more activity is better. But I must say the rate of return seems to decline after 20 or 30 minutes a day. So if you're being active less than 150 minutes a week, or more if you're a kid, an hour a day if you're a kid, my flag goes up in the clinic. So my personal take on this is that the literature draws a very broad brush, and so we see big differences when somebody goes from not doing anything to doing something, and after that the return is more granular. So if we took the Nurses Health Study, women who went from zero activity to just 1 hour a week reduced their heart disease rates by almost half. So you can break it down, so it can be 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes if you want to do 30 minutes of exercise, so it can be broken into 3. Higher intensity, it looks like it's equivalent to less time with lower intensity. But I think obviously the clinical pearl is mostly thinking about your style and habits and your personal cues. So if you're only going to do it if it's pre-booked with friends, I have couples that take a half-hour walk every morning or evening to organize their life. A dog is a great walking coach. The data is showing 67% of dog walkers achieve the 150 minutes a week just with the dog walking. And finally, of course, your commute, getting off stop early, taking the stairs, and so on and so forth. So thinking about that, I'm just going to walk you through some quick slices of the literature. The first one comes from Japan. In the 90s, Japan required all employers to conduct annual health screenings for their employees. And so a large gas company in Japan called Osaka used this to answer a great question. So if people's walk to work was longer, did that reduce their chance of serious health problems? So in this example, high blood pressure. And what they found is under 10-minute walk, no difference. 11 to 20-minute walk, 12% reduction in rates of high blood pressure or hypertension. And over 21-minute walk, a 29% decrease in rates of high blood pressure. So the authors calculated that for every increase of 10 minutes in your walk to work, there was a 12% reduction in the likelihood of getting high blood pressure. The second exhibit is looking at stents. So this is something we commonly do down medicine. So you can see on the left here, the artery's blocked. On the right, a vascular surgeon's gone in and put in a balloon, opened it up, and left a stent to keep it open, which makes great sense. So a German researcher named Rainer Hambrecht looked at this with about 100 cardiac patients. He got half the group to exercise, and by that I mean 20 minutes a day on an exercise bicycle and then once weekly 60-minute aerobics class. And the other half got the high-tech stent and just their sort of normal activity. And after 1 year, 88% of the exercises were event-free compared to 70% of the people that got a stent. So both worked, but I find it sort of incredible that the low tech made a bigger difference. And you have to remember that the stent just fixes one part of the heart. The next way to think about it is the reverse. So what I call sitting disease. We know that being sedentary is bad for your health, but a researcher named Leonard Veerman wanted to quantify this, and he did so down in Australia in a big study they did there. They found, compared with persons who watch no TV, those that spend a lifetime average of 6 hours a day watching TV can expect to live about 5 years left. I mean, that's incredible. But then I think, who watches 6 hours a day of TV? And it turns out the average adult in the USA spends about 5 hours a day watching TV or screens. So I find this fascinating that we never think of the TV as something that's bad for our health, but clearly it's as powerful as many other risk factors for chronic disease. So I'm just going to leave you with, I guess, 2 quotes. So one is Jerry Garcia, the singer who is the lead singer for the Grateful Dead. And he said, somebody has to do something. It's just incredibly pathetic that it has to be us. And I think that's true, that in some ways it has to be us. As Hippocrates said, walking is man's best medicine. And so I'm going to finish by asking you a question. And this may have some personal challenges for you. So, you might be very busy with work or kids or both, and you may be in pain or have other priorities. But my question to you is, can you limit your sitting and sleeping to just 23.5 hours a day? So something to think about. Thank you very much.
So this is the main message for living younger. And there's so much other material on the web. But as the presenter says, eat berries, eat this, eat that. Just
Doctor, I have one question.
yeah. No,
So-
let me finish my sentence.
This is Harash.
Then we can go for questions.
I have a question. You request,
Harish, let him finish, then we can take questions. Give him a few more minutes.
So
Thank you.
What do you
many
say?
people came to,
Harish, you can ask question at the end.
okay, No, I think this is a question session start. Sorry.
No, no worries.
So we brought many people to you. Different people told you different things. And everybody has researched well and gave you. But from now on, you have to make a decision. You have to implement some of them. You have to really come out being healthy, younger, happy. So walking at least half an hour is the most appropriate one than everything else. So please make sure that you maintain a log, and I don't know how you will submit it. Kavitaji, you have to tell us that every single one of the people who are on the India home, they have to make a pledge to walk at least half an hour. The walking need not be on the street. The walking can be in the house itself. And this walking can be divided into 3 10 minutes. And please make a sheet, mark it, and submit it, because if we give a lot of information to you and you do not practice anything, the health benefit will not come to you. I certainly get the health benefit from this program so much. Thank you. Now you can open the floor for questions. We have 15-20 minutes.
Yes,
13
Harish, you
13
can,
minutes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Harish, you can unmute yourself.
Okay,
Yes.
Doctor, I have one question. You ask different types of berries, but how much quantity of the berry is just blueberries? How much is 25 milligram, 25 grams, or 50 grams, or other fruits in quantity? Please, can you mention please that?
Yes. For all the fresh berries, because berries come in different forms, a handful of berries is sufficient.
How much? How many?
One handful.
Oh, okay. Okay. I understand. Thank you, doctor.
And a few weeks back, when I presented, I told you that observing your body with patience, carefully observing your body with patience, is key for all these suggestions. Either me or other doctors or anyone we invite, we all can give you suggestions. We are not aware of your personal condition. And therefore, let's say I told you about a handful of berries and you eat a handful of berries every day. In 3 days, you observe and say that, oh, this particular berry is not good for me, because you are feeling uncomfortable, you may vomit, or your sleep may be getting disturbed. You have to observe your body very carefully, and that will help you to understand the items that we are giving you, which one is going to be good. I mentioned to you earlier and also sent you the list of 500 food items. And not only 500 food items, thousands of years of Ayurveda or the Indian rishis, their observations, they summed it up in one simple line. There is no leaf that cannot have any health benefit. It doesn't mean that every leaf you should eat, but that depends on your body. So my request is, from now on, please make notes about your personal changes from physical to mental. If you eat certain fruits, will you feel happy? If you eat certain fruits, will you feel happy and very active? or you feel dull. So exercise, please record any of these suggestions, all the suggestions that you have heard so far, all of them will come into YouTube videos and you can watch them again to go back and check. We'll post that in the next 1 or 2 weeks. And please make use of all these suggestions as suited to your body.
Thank you, doctor.
Okay, is there anyone else have any questions or any concerns? Please raise your hand or unmute yourself.
How much walnut and almond we can eat every day?
Both are one. Nuts per day, a full handful, meaning all the nuts put together.
Thank you.
And most of the nuts, if you want to eat, soak them and eat for two simple reasons. Any other waste material on the nut will get dissolved in the water, number one. Number two, it is good on your teeth. Otherwise, you have to end up with a dentist. Just because everybody says nuts are good, and if you start eating nuts and you spoil your teeth, it's no good.
So walnut also we should soak in the water and eat?
Yes, walnut also is soaked in the water. Almonds are soaked in the water.
Okay, thank you, sir.
If anything that is hard on your teeth, please soak.
Okay, thank you.
There are two reasons why we are soaking. Number one, to clean and to remove anything that is not suitable to your body. At a younger age, you may eat anything, both for your teeth as well as to the contaminants on the fruits or the walnuts or the nuts may not affect you that much, but at a later stage of life, they affect a lot.
Yes, Usha Kapoor, do you have anything?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about more about the mushroom that we're talking about. Can you give a little bit more about mushrooms?
Certainly, I do not have good information about mushrooms, but personally right now, but we will provide you with what type of mushrooms and to what extent.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
That's a subject by itself. Mushrooms is a very big subject. And from the Japanese point of view,
Yes, so Gohil Uncle ji, you have anything to add?
Thank you.
You have anything to ask Gohil Uncle ji? कुछ पूछना है?
नहीं, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else with the questions, concerns? Yes, Madhu Aunty ji.
Yes, I cannot walk 30 minutes. Now, when I walk, even at home, I don't go out much, but I walk at home. So after 5 minutes, I feel I'm breathing and I want to sit down and go and do it. I'm 84, nearly 84 now.
yes, I understand. If you have any other, your breathing issue is a medical issue. Definitely all these suggestions of 30 minutes is if you do not have any interfering medical issue. But even if you are 84, madam, I tell you, you can walk 30 minutes. But
I know, if
talk to,
I think
no,
now
talk
I'm
to your
going
doctor.
to try again. Yes.
No, my suggestion is this. Please talk to your doctor why you are not able to walk 10 minutes without any problem. And then if that is the case, then walk 3 times in a day, as the video mentioned already, 3 times a day, 30 minutes. But surely that is the new medicine. New medicine is now you are healthy. There is no question. You are happy. You are home. No, you have to be able to walk 10 minutes. The doctor has to understand why your breathing issue is an issue for you. My mother is able to get down 6 floors down when she's 87.
Wow. Yeah. I
She's
mean, I
93
can get,
now.
I've got very bad knees, so getting down and getting up is a little difficult for me.
No.
But
I'm just giving that
I do
extreme,
climb
that
sometimes.
example, because she wanted to come to United States, and in the middle of the night, they lift in India failed. So I said that we can postpone next day. But her zeal to come to US is so much, she walked down. So as people say that it is the intent, but in your situation, if you have a breathing issue, that should be cleared right away, though it's not an emergency, you should be able to walk. So Kavita ji or Gita ji,
Yes, sir.
please take the members,
Uh-huh.
special situations like this, and get our doctors who are helping us, Dr. Jyoti Jasti or Nori came here once, or different doctors we have in our panel, and get them to check with individuals. You have to have certain session, not part of nutrition session, a session where those mistakes or those situations, those issues are addressed individually. Otherwise, all these lectures that we present will not have any value, benefit for mass majority of the people.
So you think like if I'm working at home, like doing the dishes, putting dishwasher or whatever, or little cooking, standing, going up and down because I can't stand for a long time, that also is equal to like walking a little bit?
Of course, if you are doing those things, that you should be
Yes,
able to
I
count
do
that.
those things. Yeah,
Because
I do those things.
what we mean
But
by
that is like, how you feel that I have to do it, so I'm doing it. But if I'm just going for a walk around, then after 5 minutes, I want to sit down.
no, please talk to your doctor first about feel
All
like
right,
sitting
thank you.
is different. No, sorry, ma'am. Feel like sitting is different. That is in the head. But if you're having a breathing issue, that is not just in the head.
Okay. Yes, thank you so much. Yes. Thank you, doctor. Really, this is what I wanted to ask. Thank you.
Yes, I think Reshma ji have a question. Yes, Reshma ji, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have a question. So walking is an activity, but does it qualify as exercise?
Yes, that is the reason why I spent 9 minutes. And what they have done is they have taken that scientist, doctor, has taken all the suggestions and calculated the numbers and ranked walking 30 minutes is the most important thing for the return of investment. Yes, if you do exercise, yes, you may be even healthier, but that is not the point. The point is, what is the minimum return that you can get while doing this?
Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to, Dr. I heard that, if you have breathing problem, then they said there's yoga. In yoga, they teach Alomom Vilom. That helps to get the breathing going. That is very important. Is that good?
No, that's what I'm saying. Breathing issue is a medical issue.
Right, okay.
So I should not and I cannot address it.
Okay.
But when I said that if you have to do the 30-minute exercise, or when you are eating all these kinds of foods, some foods may give you allergy reactions too.
Right.
All nuts may not be so healthy. So number one, you have to observe yourself. Number two, is it feel like sitting or is it breathing itself?
Okay.
Can it be corrected with yoga or can it should be corrected with medicines? So at this stage of life or any stage for that matter, you have to be in charge of your decisions. Doctors, unfortunately, do not know about your body. No one knows about your body better than you.
Right.
Okay, anyone else?
I didn't understand about the exercise. I'm doing exercise like yoga on this channel. Gita sends us so many. Most of them I do it. So that is besides the walk you're talking about. The walk should be there besides these exercises also.
That exercise, the yoga you are doing is a different way for the body than the walking
Okay.
is. Therefore, they
Yeah.
are separate.
All right. Thank you.
And if you can do exercise yoga, I have no doubt, ma'am, you can walk 10 minutes
Yes,
or
I
more.
do. I mean, I think as you said, sometime it is in my mind. I can tell you that. And if I stand for 1 minute and again walk, I can do again.
Yeah.
That I've noticed that also. So yes, it's in my mind mostly, I think. Thank you so much.
Okay, is there any other question? Otherwise we can wind up.
No, thank you, Gita ji. Thank you.
Thank you.
I better go for walk now.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes, Madhu aunty ji, इसीलिए मैं सुबह बोलती हूँ like the weather is nice, go out and go for a walk, right? It's yeah, exercise is
Yeah, I
yeah.
know.
Along with the exercise, we have to do walking too. Yeah, that's so. I mean, good presentation, Dr. Rao. It was like
That's
very
great.
helpful. Yeah, thank you so much for coming. I know, like you are in Delhi.
You
Like
so
enjoy your India stay. Thank you so much.